and current affairs. And just to also let you in on the fact that today doubles in commemoration. Firstly, it is regarded as the International Day of Remembrance of Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. All right, March 25 it is. Acknowledge the past, they say. Repair the present, build a future of dignity and justice. It also encaptions, International Day of Solidarity with detained and missing staff members, right? And protecting UN staff, protecting staff anywhere and everywhere as you know it. Now, what are we protecting, or what should we be protecting in Nigeria? One of the things that we should protect is power, energy, if you like, right? And it doesn't seem as though past administrations, including this one, has done due diligence, to power generation, distribution, control, and the systems that operate it. I mean, it therefore brings to fore the fact that, look, no country in the world, you tell me if you have any country in the world that can run on its own without the energy or the power sector. I mean, it drives the economy. It allows for development, for growth, for progress. Our sector. Now, that brings to mind why we would be looking into the conversation, the borders around Nigeria. It does seem as though Nigeria has decided to take a turn towards Egypt, to seeing how we can partner with Egypt to ensure that the power sector in the country indeed is having a facelift. Well, we understand that we've been plagued by some inefficiencies, inadequacies in infrastructure, lack of access to electricity, particularly in the rural areas. But then, if you are to address some of these challenges, the Nigerian government is seeking now international cooperation. I mean, recently, of course, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, indeed met with the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria, Mohammed Fraud, to discuss potential collaboration in the power sector. Now, Adelabu's commendation of Egypt's achievements in energy transformation goes a long way in describing the country as a role model in the energy infrastructure development. Now, Fuad, who expressed, Egypt's enthusiasm for collaborating with Nigeria, particularly in closing the metering gap and sharing best practices in energy access. He said, well, we would be tapping into Egypt's knowledge. Egypt's knowledge, please mark that. Nigeria hopes to address its energy challenges and provide, some reliability when it comes to electricity to its citizens. Now, in the meantime, the Nigeria's power minister has also established a committee to organize a national power conference. Now, this conference is supposedly to bring together stakeholders in the power sector to discuss the challenges, the opportunities, the solutions for Nigeria's energy landscape. Now, this committee is also tasked to ensure the conference is a success, fostering collaboration, also looking at innovation to drive the country's power sector forward. All right. But then recently, just on the front page of Nigerian newspapers now, we have seen that Nigeria has spent a whopping 509.84 billion naira on electricity in just 3 months, even despite the poor power supply. And this is also a significant increase from the 466.69 billion naira spent in the previous quarter. So the data from the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, is highlighting the substantial financial burden Nigerians bear for electricity. Now, the issue of poor electricity supply is still persistent. Many areas are experiencing frequent outages. The federal government has been subsidizing electricity supply to the tune of over 50 billion naira monthly. However, the subsidy has decreased by half due to a minor increase in the tariff regime. And then don't also forget that just recently, we have also been intimated that about 4 power generators, should they collapse, it will be, it will mean, something inimical for the Nigerian people sector. It might just be a big blow over the non-payment of, is it 4.7 trillion naira now, that in the power sector and all of that. I mean, all of this is still going on, and despite the efforts, by this administration, where there has been several measures, initiatives, including the Presidential Power Initiative efforts, that is supposed to look into improving metering. Despite all of these efforts, the power supply is still remaining unreliable, unrealistic, and Nigerians continue to bear the financial burden. I mean, you and I, we're the ones who keep bearing the financial expenses, when it comes to electricity. Now, we have our guest who's going to be joining us via phone call in a short bit. Now, he's in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi. Now, he's been a seasoned human rights activist, a public affairs commentator, social analyst, and conflict resolution expert, and he's adding his voice in the discourse this morning. Good morning to you, Comrade Gerald Okachi. Welcome to Eagle Outlook this morning.
A very good morning to you, UD, and our wonderful listeners.
Awesome, comrade. Well, I mean, so much is going on in the power sector. At first, I didn't think that it was something to talk about because Nigerians have been like, we've been talking about these over and over again. But then I would not also cool into the idea that we keep talking and nothing is happening and all of that. Look, we will. And as important as the power sector is, as we find, new stories that come in this light, we would talk so that we will indeed put those at the helm of affairs, on their toes to do the needful. Now, Nigeria is looking towards Egypt to partner, to learn from Egypt how efficiency and accuracy and the beauty of the power sector in Egypt, and seeing how we can indeed bring it back right here in Nigeria. But if you recall, there has been some sort of, over time, right? We have seen different types of initiative. Just if you recall, according to the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, the country's power generation reached 5,713.60 megawatts, a milestone that is supposedly to indicate progress in Nigeria, in our efforts to improving our power, infrastructure. However, we are still nosediving in that area, in that regard. And then it makes us also ask the question of, look, we have had former administrations, former Minister of Power, come aboard and all of that. What exactly have these ministers in times past done, as well as the one present, in ensuring that at least we have something on ground, something that we might as well want to call a blueprint for continuum, right, in the power sector, right? And then if you look at under the Goodluck administration now, the government initiated a multi-billion-dollar plan to develop electricity infrastructure, including the National Integrated Power Project, NIPP. There's the Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant that was completed, adding 700 megawatts to the national grid. And the Kashimbila Hydroelectric Power Project was also completed, supplying electricity to Yandev in Benue State. Now, the government also privatized the power sector, selling off state-run generation and distribution firms to private companies in an effort to attract investment and improve efficiency, right? So with all of these, Comrade Gerald Okachi, look at where we are today. What exactly, from your own point of view, should be the way forward in this regard? I mean, we're looking up to Egypt now. Is that the way forward?
Well, anything that will improve power generation, distribution, or power usage in Nigeria is highly welcomed by every progressive-minded person. But then, you recall that period to the 2023 general elections, one of the leading candidates in that election, that is Mr. Peter Obi of the LP, was seen going from one country to another with regards to getting information or research or work, to see how, if he succeeds, how he can improve the power generation. And that Egypt is that he visited. How the government of the day and APC, finish, abuse a hell out of him for such a visit. And today they are turning back to partner with the same people to see how they can improve power. That is where I must say, for the interest of our people, for the good of the masses, let us leave bigotry, hate that has, retrogressed our nation, and see any constructive criticism or any constructive or decent voice or anything that is not in tandem with whatever they believe. They should take the message and leave the messenger. Now they have turned back to work with Egypt. It's a good one, because even when they remove subsidy, part of their defense is that candidate, Atiku, Kwankwaso, claim that they will remove subsidy. I think it's high time, if it's possible, to call all these candidates that contested to a meeting and see how they can share ideas together on how to move the country forward, because there's only one person that will end up becoming a leader. Today we have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our leader. Leave politics aside, leave hate aside, summon these guys together, bring them on board. How do we make these things to work? Of course, we saw a video of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying that if he does not stabilize power before 2027, Nigeria should not vote him. And we know that these are part of the political promises and gimmicks that we have seen in the past that they never honored. I was expecting that even without even voting him out, if he does not succeed in stabilizing power, he should honorably resign. But in Nigeria, we don't do that kind of thing. Nigeria, we must sit there. Even if somebody is sick, he will sit there until either God calls him or he survives on it.
But comrade, isn't it obvious, because we're not holding them accountable to their words? I mean, you just made it clear that the president had mentioned that, and should he not also do due diligence to that? Shouldn't we be able to hold him to his words and say, okay, you said this and now you didn't do it? Do you understand?
There have been a lot of things that leaders have said in the past, that they have not really hold leaders accountable. In fact, any attempt to bring them to book or attempts to make them to account for whatever they have promised will be met with stiff resistance, will be met with suppression, will be met with a lot. Take for example, in the Nigerian Constitution as amended, we have a freedom of expression, where we saw recently a core member had dissatisfaction with regards to the way the country is being run under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we have seen the way they have come hard on this lady. They use AI to generate images, do a lot of videos just to tarnish her reputation, to silence her. These are the kind of things you see when you try to bring people to account. I expect a very sincere leadership, government, that if you bring anything, they will use superior arguments to argue whatever you have brought in to the table. That is what leadership is all about. That's what leadership entails. If you bring any arguments, they will use superior arguments to tell you what they are doing, how far they have gone with efforts to improve the system. But here, if you raise anything, they will profile you, look at your religion, look at your tribe, where you are coming from, look at antecedents, and try to do anything is possible so that the followers will finish or whatever that is left of you. So it makes it very difficult to account. If you look in Nigeria today, Nigerians are not actually divided. It's only politicians that make them look as if they are divided. And that's when the moment of politics, of politicking. If you go to any state in Nigeria, you will be highly worked. You see the level of hospitality they will show to you. You go anywhere in Nigeria today, from any region, either to study, to do business, or what have you, they will welcome you with open arms. You will enjoy it. But whenever it comes, you see divide and rule. That will be when they will remind you that you are coming from so place. You are a dangerous species. You are not supposed to do this. You are not supposed to do that. But aside politics, Nigeria is home, in fact, second place to heaven. And these politicians that do these kind of things. Now that the government of the day have decided to collaborate with other governments that have been able to stabilize power in their own countries, it's a welcome idea. It's a wonderful idea. Provided they will do it with every sincerity of purpose, provided they will not begin to do it just like what we have with Obasanjo Atiku regime, where it was allegedly claimed that they spent over $16 billion in the power sector. Let it not be the type that we saw in the President Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammad Buhari, where whose sons will be spent in generating power at the end of the day will not succeed, to the point that we privatize our power sector, yet we are still not successful in it. As of today, we are seeing where impunity and abuse of power have led us in this power sector. Just few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we saw a video of Nigerian army, I think Navy, attacking Ikeja Discos in Lagos, in their office. Something that is chaotic, something that we last seen in Africa, especially in Nigeria, more than 30, 40 years ago, is repeating itself for disconnection. And disconnection, they claim that they are owing billions of naira, about 4 billion thereabouts, for the period of over 10 years. You ask yourself, these monies, that they're not being captured in budget, on the yearly budget that is being presented and approved. That is where issues of accountability comes in. As of today, we have wonderful laws that can help to make our country to move forward. One of those laws is the Freedom of Information Act. Can you move or write to inquire for any information, either at the local government level or agency of government or ministry today, and it gets positive response? Now your letter will stay there for until the end of that tenure. And yet we have those laws that make it mandatory, that if you inquire to find out what budgets that goes in, how they spend it, they are under obligations to release such information to you. But you cannot even find it, you cannot even have it today. Meaning that it appears like we have laws for the ruling class and laws for the led. And it's unfortunate. So if the government is going in direction of collaboration to stabilize our power, and they do it with every commitment that it requires, it's a wonderful idea. And I will be the happiest person. Because once we stabilize our power, a lot of things will be right. It will lead to job creation. It will lead to economic stabilization. It will lead to at least improving the living standard of our people.
All right, it's one thing to say that
the light of the day.
It's one thing to say that we're stabilizing, the power sector. Some Nigerians and political observers, especially those from the energy sector, have also opined that should we be able to stabilize the power sector, what next? Because there'll be the place of also creating or providing security to some of these facilities. And now, we've also seen how, very vital parts of transformers are being, stolen. We've even seen transformers having an address relocation from where it ought to be. We've seen counterfeit transformers being sold. And then in all of these ruckus, right, it is still the individuals, the citizenry that pays the price. Now, let me cast your mind to the fact that there has been a committee established to organize a national power conference. And the question Nigerians are having now is this conference indeed a way to go? Is this not going to be another spending jamboree? I mean, this conference is supposed to bring together stakeholders in the power sector to discuss the challenges, opportunities, and solutions for Nigeria's energy landscape. Is this the first of its kind of conferences that's been held in this regard? And yet we've not seen any improvement. Now, we're spending 584 billion naira on electricity in just 3 months, and that is despite the poor power supply. And it makes us wonder again, why are we even spending this much if there is a poor power supply? I mean, in 3 months, and then 50 billion naira monthly. That's what we are using. The government is subsidizing electricity supply, 50 billion naira monthly. However, subsidy has decreased by half due to, minor increase in tariff, regime. It just goes back to the point that, look, you and I, the family members listening on here, and the society, Nigerians at large, we're the ones who are still bearing the brunt. So how sure are we again that all of these partnerships, all of these committees where monies will be spent and tasks allotted will indeed bring, the necessary growth and development that we are looking for in the power sector?
You see, the conference that is being called for power sector, provided it will lead to positive outcome, it is a welcome one. But then, if you recall that during the budget defense of this 2025 appropriation bill that is has been signed into law, it was revealed that certain amount of money running into millions we appropriated for the power ministry to use to sensitize people to pay bill. Like, how did we get to this point? It's only in fact, it's only power sector, which generally known as NEPA then, but have different names as of today, are the only agency, organization in this country that knows where every Nigerian lives, that can send you mail successfully delivered at any given time. And you see a power minister, and his group claiming that they want to sensitize people on need to pay power bills. It become a laughable thing. I don't know whether the National Assembly approve it or maybe they have changed it to conference, that they are organizing. Provided it will lead to a positive outcome, is a welcome idea. But then, coming into subsidy, you see, before the removal of fuel subsidy, as of 2014, when President Muhammad Buhari was still a candidate of APC, he claimed that subsidy is a scam. He asked a famous question, who is subsidizing who? In that interview, he claimed that he was a former petroleum minister under Abuja. He knows what is going on there, that there's no subsidy and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, when he won, under his watch, we pay more subsidy than every previous regime. Now we call the same APC under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. On the first day of his inauguration, he declared subsidy removal. And we saw how the economy was somersaulted, tumbled, and everybody started screaming. People went into depression. Some were committing suicide. People that died, they died. And we believed that the subsidy he removed, they remain removed. But recently, there are reports that we are still paying subsidy removal. Subsidy. As at the time the subsidy was declared removed. You check it, you will hear where they are saying that the subsidy we are owing from 2023 to 2024 is in so trillion. So you ask yourself, who is deceiving who? Now we come to issue of power. Power have more than quadruple with regards to amount you buy per unit. Before the advent of, before the coming of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, per unit of power is not sold above 16 to 21 naira, depending on where you are living. But that today, you can purchase either 66 naira, some above that, depending on the band you are in. The higher band you get yourself, the higher payment you made. So where is the subsidy coming from? If band A use 1,000 naira to get, I think band A, the unit is about 250 naira per unit or 260 naira per unit, meaning that 1,004 units. And those in band, either band D or thereabouts, are still maintaining either 66 naira or thereabout, that if you use it to purchase, you'll be getting either 18 or 28 units, or as the case may be. So in this system they are using to exploit the system, generate revenue for the government, make more money, hike prices. Who is subsidizing who? If band A can pay over 200 naira, 260 naira per unit, where is the subsidy? It was when they were privatizing this power sector that they told us that prepaid will be free. They told us maintenance of facilities will be free. But I can boldly tell you that the one I'm involved this year, on the other 5th of January this year, our transformer got bad. For us to repair it, we have seen about 3
Hello, comrade. Oh, he was just giving us a strong point right there. Okay, well, we'll get. Okay, comrade, are you there? Comrade, comrade, are you there?
It cost us millions.
Yeah, we lost.
Yes, I'm here.
We lost you for a bit. We lost your voice for a bit. You were trying to tell us about your community and the transformer. In your community, that's where we, got cut off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our own community, because we have seen what happened to other neighboring communities.
Yes.
They stay without power supply for over a year. We decided that we will maintain our own, and it cost us over 3 million naira to service the same transformer. It took us almost a month to fix it, and every member of our community spent tens of thousands naira in contribution to raise that amount.
Wow. Whereas
it was supposed to be the work of the AEDC or those private companies. Now we have fixed it. We fixed it, like, I think on the first week of February. That's the first week. You see their ladders coming into our community for disconnection. You see them swing into action. On even the service engineer that came for confirmation that the people that did the maintenance in Jabi did a good job. We have to pay for their TP. We have to take care of them. But less than 1 week of fixing our transformer, you see them coming back with rolling their ladders for those that have direct connections.
Right.
You see the one that just prepaid, quickly swing into action. So who is subsidizing who? Using the famous quote of President Muhammad Buhari, who is subsidizing? Where is the subsidy going? If band A is paying over 260 naira, and the band D and the less are paying less than 100 naira, where is the subsidy going? In band A, they claim that you must have a minimum of 20-hour supply of the 24 hours a day. Are we getting it today? You are in LCT. Is there any place in the past 1 month that you can hit your chest that has have recorded 20-hour power supply per day?
All right. Well, comrade. Comrade, let's just open the phone lines and get to hear from Nigerians and family members, to add your voice to it. I mean, how do you see this new move? Nigeria is now beginning to look towards other countries, especially even in Africa. Egypt precisely has been mentioned, but then there are other countries such as South Africa, Morocco, China, Brazil. They are having renewable energy sector, particularly in biofuels, offering model for Nigeria to follow and all of that. And what will be your concern about, the affairs, the handling of the power or the energy sector so far in Nigeria? 0907-353-0044 is the number to stick to. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Odward.
Good morning to you, Honorable Edwards.
Thank you so much. Calling
Yes.
for the poor.
Oh, calling from a poll. All right. Talk to us, Honorable.
Yes. I've been listening for this program for a while without contributing because of what is happening in this country.
I get it.
It is good to observe at times. I equally want to appreciate our guest. To me, he has said everything. He has said everything. You can imagine a situation where I took a light from a particular point to a particular point for over 30-something high tension they call them HC. Just to give to my people. I bought the transformer. And the NEPA are claiming to be the owner of this thing. And we are still paying for darkness. But there is no way you have light for even in where I am in the home. There's no way you have light for even 17 hours. So what are they saying? I am paying for darkness. If I'm going to have light for 24 hours or 20 hours, it's better for me to call me that I am on band A. I will be happy. But you are paying for band A without light. So let's pay for darkness.
Okay.
He has said everything that our guest is a same agreement to him. He has said everything.
Right.
The only thing is that even if you buy a transformer now, then the people will come and take over the transformer as their property. Even if you repair the transformer, take it as their property, as if you give instruction on what to do. Then let me ask a question. Who is vandalizing all these things, all these high tension? Who is vandalizing them? I can accuse them directly. Who is vandalizing? How do they know that there's no light now? Can you tamper with those high tension, the one that triple all light, what do you call it? Can you tamper with it? Not fully aware that there's light there. Even transformer. Can you tamper with it? I can accuse them directly. Because it's only there who knows where there's no light. There will be no light. What about if you are there to tamper with the transformer and the light is on? If you know that they took light down, you want to tamper with the transformer and they bring light back, that's your life. You go. So accuse them directly. They know where to operate. We are problem in Nigeria, honestly. We just need to find a way to sort it out. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, appreciate you though, Honorable Edwards. Adding his voice right there. Well, you can still also keep your calls coming through. Let's stick to the number 0907 353 0044. Or better still, you can send a message to the WhatsApp portal number 0909 705 4450. And as well, tell us what you think about these conferences to be held, as well as give us your 2 cents as to what direction should the minister navigate, to ensure that this is a thing of the past in Nigeria. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Daniel. Good morning.
Oh, good morning to you, please. Oh, tech and be.
From local government. Yes, I want to align with your guest. They have spoken with this morning.
Right.
There are a lot of issues. In fact, one of the key areas to boost our economy is, electricity.
Right.
And it's something that we have achieved, over years. And we cannot continue to go back to what has happened before. Let us chart a way forward, just like your guest, is talking about. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you can't go forward without reflecting about where you are coming from. You see, the government, in the past has promised us that when NEPA, is privatized, that will get, meters for free and maintenance for free. But you will discover that those meters, actually came in at a point they were sharing. But just at a point in time, they now stop. And when they stop, where are the hundreds of thousands of meters? If you go back to the same corruption issue, the people in charge, they kept those meters and then they began to sell it. And one issue we're having is that estimated bidding is evil. You will discover that in some areas, you will not even have light maybe 2 hours a day. Because there are some areas in the National State here where they ration light. that you may have light today and tomorrow, you may not have. And there are some times you may not have light, even for a week. And you discover that at the end of the month, and again, what they're doing is that they're not bringing bill at the end of the month, they're bringing bill on every 11. And they will expect you from that 11, 12, 13, 15 to pay. They will not wait until the end of the month. So that estimated billing, they will bring the kind of bill that is evil. For a compound that does have 2 tenants, they will give them like 60,000 naira. And you'll be wondering, what have you used? There has not been light regularly, and they are bringing 8,000. And if you don't pay at least 50 or 45, they will come and cut down your light. And it seems those who are giving out those bills, they are enjoying, and they don't want us to have meters. And lastly, Daniel, there are some meters that have been given to some customers, and the meters are not working. And if you call NEPA, I don't know what they are doing. Saying if you try to load, it's not going to work. So what those residents do is to bypass, because the NEPA that were paid to bring those meters, the meters are not working. I can't explain that.
I understand that. Appreciate. But Tech and B, okay, Tech and B is out. Well, we're looking at, as much as all of these challenges are there, right? There is also the thought about the way forward, right? As Tech and B had mentioned, look, maybe we should forget the past and see how we can focus on the present and look at how that is going to imprint on the future. But can we totally forget the past and focus on the present and look into the future, right? But then what should be the way forward? These moves now by the current minister, Adelabu, Minister of Power, these moves indeed the answer to the multifaceted or the multifarious problems and challenges that we are facing in the power sector? Is the very question that we are asking at this point in time. And would this indeed bring the decisive change, that we ought to look into? And there is also the part of renewable energy, right? How much have we done, to engage renewable energy, right? And then if you also look beyond renewable energy too, you might also want to identify, ways that we could indeed begin to allow for I believe there's an allowance for state governors, to be able to also institutionalize their own power, infrastructure in their respective states. Hello, comrade, you've heard what Nigerians are saying. I mean, what should be the way forward as we have barely 3 minutes to go now?
Yes, I quite agree with you that the way forward with regards to power generation or supply in our country as of today is what I think the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is doing. Just last year, he signed into law a bill, allowing state governments to generate their own power. Unlike what it used to be, where you generate power, you must ensure that you transmit it into the national grid before usage. But today now, you can generate power on your own, distribute it to your people. And that is what gave birth to what you have in Aba Power which is a private owned company. So if we increase power generation capacity, either with regards to gas or hydro or solar, wind or nuclear, it will improve our power supply. Then again, you look at modernization of transmission infrastructure. Just last year, the past 5 months, we have had numerous numbers of grid collapse. I think it's time we need to see how we can modernize most of the infrastructures, to improve the network so that these issues of continuous grid collapse will not be happening again.
Just to add to that, just recently, sorry to cut you, we've been on the front page of Nigerian newspapers now. We've been told that 4 powered plants generators might be sinking, might be going down, might stop working because of an unpaid debt of 7 trillion naira now. And should that happen, of course, what was going to happen, to the power sector in the country. But anyways, I will
continue to face some of these challenges. You recall, if you go down the memory lane or history lane, 40 years ago and thereabouts, Nigerians suffered with regards to provision of water. When majority of the urban areas are dependent on water board. Sometimes in some areas, in some cities, you may not see the one they call a pump or tap run into your streets for like 2 weeks, sometimes once in a week.
Okay.
Not until Nigeria devised means of helping themselves, sinking.
So are you saying that we should begin to get our own personal power plants now?
Yes, that is where we are heading to.
Okay.
If we report some history line, 40 years ago and so on and so forth, education, which is supposed to be the bedrock of our society, was facing a lot of issues until private sectors come into it. You understand? The same thing we are facing with security. Some of the success stories we have in this Abuja Kaduna highway with regards to incessant kidnapping that are going on in those areas, when we use machineries to man those areas, we have improved security.
All right, comrade.
Today there's street or not see private security. So coming into power, I think one of the ways we will improve is what Nigerians are beginning to adopt nowadays.
Which
out
is
of every 10, we see one that is using solar.
Oh, okay. But it's quite expensive.
You will see that more than 40% of Nigerians will start making use of solar, and then everybody will say bye-bye to this power generation.
All right, comrade, we wouldn't be able to go any further now. Oh, sorry, comrade.
We have similar experience when
comrade.
We are using NITEL.
Yeah.
But the private came on board. Everybody's making use of it today.
All right, comrade.
So private power generation is the only way to survive. Thank you.
Appreciate this one. All right, we are just having a conversation with our comrade now, Comrade Gerald Okachi. He's a human rights, public affairs commentator, social analyst, and conflict resolution expert. But just before we go, comrade, let's just quickly put this one out, this message. It came in earlier. It's coming from Yusuf, all the way from Abuja now. Says, good morning to you, UD, and your guest. The Minister of Power is still trying to learn metering system from Egypt without addressing the real problem. The truth of the matter is that discos in Nigeria are bankrupt and are being run by creditor banks courtesy of failed privatization of the sector. Fact check revealed that the Abuja Disco AEDC is under the management of the UBA, the Fidelity Bank managers, Benin and Kaduna Discos. The Ibadan Disco is under AMCON management. These discos apparently represented that they had funds and expertise to run the sector, but what we are seeing today is mediocrity. Trillions of naira government interventions gone. World Bank power sector loans gone. Domestic bank loans gone. Money from fraudulent billings gone. Capacity to take up and distribute stress transmitted power near zero. Their epileptic power supply end up destroying our appliances and their own equipment. I advise the governments to probe the discos and other companies in the chain, take over and run them as public enterprises, spending fresh privatization of the sector. All right, Yusuf, thank you. And to every one of us, too, that have added our voices, thank you, far too kind. But this is where we'll leave it, on this discourse this morning. Comrade, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Right, and this is where we call it a close. Tomorrow is another day, but don't worry, 10 o'clock is still around the corner. General Open Banter comes up in a short bit.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Top of the day to you, what people, I bring you exciting offers. Shelter Gold Silverland Estate, located at Lugbe Airport Road 80, right opposite Federal House in Lugbe, where the estate is right beside the road that leads to Kabusa, Apo, and even Lokogoma. And here we have plot sizes ranging from 250 to 500 square meter. With an initial deposit of 500,000 naira, you get fiscal allocation. You can start your building process as you spread the rest in 1 year. And also, outright purchase attracts free 1,000 pieces of blocks. For further inquiries, you can reach us on 090 51 38 6334 090 051386334, or you can visit our office addresses at number 3 Cabo Street, Gariki, or 25 Lecture Crescent, Maitama.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hello, my dear people of Nigeria. Hello, my dear people of Africa. You want to work inside health sector? Abi you want follow collect training? Make you follow become certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If your answer na yes, then make you kaka register for Push Africa 1-year diploma for certificate nursing assistant training, where they happen for African University College of Science and Technology, where they for Abuja. Yes, now, then wash hand well design this training for people who no get alias unemployed, ordinary diploma graduate, or anybody where a mind touch ground to work as support worker inside the healthcare sector. No waste time. For more tori, make you log on to www.pushafrica.org or make you WhatsApp 080-339-42015 or 080-550-45801. For registration, make you go collect your application form for our partner radio station or make you visit the reception for African University of Science and Technology, Abuja. Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's 1-year diploma in certified nursing assistant training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015, 080-550-45801. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Abuja. I bring you greetings from Push Africa.